What began as just a journey to figure out what to do about our heritage, our HAIR heritage. We've been tracing our roots to find out where, how we can tap into our Black beauty industry that was created by us and for us. And that led us on the journey to connect more dots. How can we create better relationships, opportunities, and understanding across the continents between Africa and right here in home? So we're pulling all those things together in our Continental Connections community event coming up on June 27th at Hot Java Bar in the Grove. We're going to bring Zambia to you. And I am joined by the creator, the founder, the artist engineer, Sid Mofya, who is the leader of Flight Risks. Sid, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jade, for having me. This is exciting.
It is beyond that exciting. When we thought about, well, if we're going to have this conversation, we should have the next conversation. And that conversation led to a conversation with Anne. And then Anne's conversation led to a conversation with you. And I'm going to Zambia. But you are here to come and create an invitation for the folks right here in the US and in St. Louis to talk about flight risks and the next trip you're taking to St. Louis.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the opportunity. So the Flight Risks is a concept band. And what that means is it's a little bit like a cast for a movie. So the origin of it was during COVID. I was really missing playing music with people. And I was thinking to myself, wow, what if I could create the perfect band for me? What would that be like? Who would the players be in that band? So I wrote down very specifically what the percussionist would be like, what kind of food he likes to eat, how he plays. His name is Julio. He overplays and you have to tell him to calm down a little bit. And the drummer from Nigeria and a bass player from Ireland. And I put together a whole band. And I actually took that, what started as an idea, and decided, well, I think this can actually become a thing. And I sat down with my music producer and said, well, I've come up with this idea of a band. I'd like to make music from this idea. So we sat down and framed the sound, and that became the Flight Risks. And in the last 12 months, we've recorded a studio album. And that studio album is what we'll be launching in Zambia in December.
I cannot wait. It is on my bucket list, but not just to experience the land, the country, my people firsthand, but this great historic opportunity for us to make some connections right here at home. Sid, you are going to preview and allow us to get a sneak peek of this upcoming album and the wonderful tour and concert that's coming in Zambia, along with a number of festivities and celebrations. But as you're intentional, I have to ask, how does a venture capitalist, a technology guy, end up creating this magical band and sound?
It's a great question. I think we're all different things, and it's easy to put somebody in a box and just say they are TV producer or investor or whatever. But we have all these other things in us, and for me, the music has always been a part of me. Whatever I've done, I studied engineering, went into finance, but right through all that, music has been a core part of me. It feels like a deeper part of my identity than even being a venture capitalist. So that's why it flows out a lot easier than all the other stuff.
Well, then, while we're talking about thinking outside the box, you put together a band in a very unconventional way and had very specific requirements that probably many of us wouldn't have thought of initially. Tell me about those components and why it mattered to you that the choices you made were those that you did.
Yeah, I think for me, it alludes to something you mentioned earlier. It's all about connection. For me, playing in a band is a feeling. There's a feeling that you get playing in a band that you don't get anywhere else, and it has to be, it's bringing different kinds of people and the way they are. They're all, doing things perfectly, imperfectly, and all those ingredients come together. So this was me trying to recreate that in my head. Remember, this was during COVID. I couldn't physically go out and say, right, let me go play in a band, because that was the next best thing. So trying to create that connection is what I was trying to do. So having a diverse band was important. It needed to be live and feel organic. And I wanted it to have a very strong African imprint. So of the 8 members of the band, three and a half are African. One is African American. So almost half are African.
You got 3.5 going.
There we go.
Well, what makes this extremely special is that the surrounding impact of what you've created is now touching lives on both shores.
Yes.
Not only are you bringing sounds together and connecting our continents through music, but you're connecting cultures. And in this case, we might even have a chance to be able to call your home our own.
Will you talk about what this means to you to bring us to Zambia?
Absolutely, it means a lot. It's an honor to be able to bring people from all over the world to Zambia. So I grew up in Zambia, lived there until college age, and then I went to college in the UK. So I lived in the UK for close to 10 years, and now I've lived in the US for close to another 10 years. And it really impresses on me how we're all different, but ultimately we're all fundamentally the same. And so bringing people from all these different places that I've lived and beyond to come to kind of, for a lot of people, make their first stop in Africa, in Zambia.
Yeah.
What an honor, but what a special time as well.
Mm-hmm. Talk about that first time experience. Like, you grew up there, but we would need you to help us envision and imagine if we hadn't been.
What's so special about the first time, and how do we reciprocate that here in the States?
Yeah, I've had several first time experiences in different cultures. And there's a lot of things that you take for granted when you're in the culture that you don't see when you're there. But I've also had the opportunity to go back to Zambia after I've been away a long time and see everything with fresh eyes. So for me, as we're designing the African Wonder experience, we're thinking about, what does this look and feel like when you're experiencing it for the first time, and being very visceral about it? What are the sights? What are the sounds? What are the smells that you're smelling? Because those are the first things that happen. What are the first things you're going to see? And what color is the soil going to be? So thinking about all those things as we design the experience, so that when you do come, you get to have a real immersive experience that is singular. Nothing like it.
So, Sid, we're making this historic connection. We're doing it for many different reasons, but pretty much from the same heart. For you, why is it important that we make these connections happen, that you bring folks home to Africa, and that we build deeper relationships and connections between us?
I feel like Africa is a connection point for all of us. We all know we originated from there and then, expanded to the rest of the earth. And I feel there's a deep need for connection, both among ourselves, but also connection to our own internal roots. And there's something about being in Africa that feels different, that feels connected. It's the air, it's hard to describe, but you'll hear this from people that visit Africa for the first time, and it kind of, they say it gets under your skin,
Yeah.
and it, some people just never leave.
Yeah.
So I feel like globally we need more connection, and part of that connection comes from having a real strong sense of connection to yourself, and there's no better place to do that than on the soil of Africa.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming.
Oh
So
yeah.
what are you most excited to show me?
I would say I'm excited to show you the Victoria Falls because it's amazing, but I think what I'm really excited to show you is to go and meet some regular people that live in Africa, that smile, and whose whole essence is just filled with joy. I think you'll love the kids. There's maybe I'm romanticizing this a little bit, but I feel like there's a purity of intention and connection that is hard to find in a lot of other places. And to me, that's even more precious than all the kind of great stuff that we can show you. There's lots of great stuff to show you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I am definitely one who treasures rare gems, and I feel like you described that with the children. So excited about our continental connections. You are going to do something unprecedented. While we're expecting you to bring your band and your new music, there's a twist. Tell folks what they can expect.
Yeah, so the twist is the Flight Risks is a virtual band. It's got characters. So, the names of the characters are Julio, Len, Choi, Enya, Ade, Tabisa, myself. But each of these characters is filled by people, musicians that live in the location that we're playing. So when we play in Zambia, that will be the same. And before we get to Zambia, we got to play in St. Louis on June 27th. And for that, we're going to have the Flight Risk characters filled by musicians from the St. Louis area. So we're putting out a call for folks to come join us and be part of the Flight Risks, be part of our journey.
Wait a minute, a call to jam?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. So you're going to fill the characters, and we here in St. Louis can join you in the session as we kick it off on June 27th at Hot Java Bar in the Grove. Okay, so who are you looking for? This call to artists, send out your call to artists, to band members, to jam.
Yeah, so we're looking for musicians, a bass player, a drummer, electric guitarist, acoustic guitarist, horn player, either saxophone or trumpet, keys, whatever I missed, and some female vocalists.
I was gonna say, what about the
Female vocalists we need as well. So if you're one of those, we would love for you to reach out and let us know you're interested.
Absolutely, there'll be some meetings and pre-planning ahead of time virtually, since that's what you can do. Filling your roles and preparing for an awesome set introduction and connection that kicks off right here. Keep building and growing with us. Connect to this journey and opportunity for connections, relationship, understanding, as well as growth. Sid, this is such an exciting opportunity, and thank you for coming. And we can't wait to see you in town.
Thanks for having me, Jade. Excited to see you.